Audiobook Academy Biography presents KYRIE IRVING. All-star in the sport of basketball prior to joining the Boston Celtics and Brooklyn Nets, KYRIE IRVING played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. A native of Melbourne, Australia, KYRIE IRVING went on to play high school basketball in New Jersey before transferring to the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. The Cleveland Cavaliers drafted him with the first overall pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, and he helped the Cavaliers win their first championship in franchise history in 2016 by partnering with LeBron James. His uncle Drew advertisements and contentious statements concerning the flatness of the earth have made Irving a household name. Irving spent 6 years with the Cavaliers before joining the Boston Celtics in 2017 and the Brooklyn Nets the following season. Brooklyn Nets. New Jersey Nets forward KYRIE IRVING announced his 4-year, $142 million contract with the team at the start of the NBA free agency period in July 2019. With fellow free agent Kevin Durant joining him in Brooklyn, the Nets were projected to become one of the league's top teams once they healed from Durant's Achilles injury, which will keep them out for the 2019-20 season. Despite the hype surrounding him, Irving was sidelined for a long period due to a shoulder injury after scoring 50 points in an overtime defeat to the Minnesota Timberwolves on the season's first night. One of the best games of his career, 54 points on 19 of 23, came in late January 2020, before he was sidelined again the next day. Season-ending surgery on the star guard's problematic shoulder was announced in February. Boston Celtics. KYRIE IRVING left the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2017 after 6 seasons, 4 All-Star appearances, and an NBA title with the Boston Celtics. Things didn't get off to the best of starts. On October 17, fellow Celtics rookie Gordon Hayward went down with a fractured tibia 5 minutes into the season opener. Shortly after the events of November 11, Irving returned to duty, this time donning a suffocating face mask. From late October until just before Thanksgiving, the Celtics went on a 16-game winning streak. The Celtics rose to the top of the Eastern Conference standings after KYRIE IRVING and Brad Stevens both showed flashes of their clutch scoring skills and a dedication to playing energetic defense. Celtics lost in the NBA Finals to Cleveland Cavaliers after Irving had knee surgery in late March 2018. Because of expectations, the Celtics were not able to meet them when Irving returned from injury in time for this year's NBA opener. The Celtics season concluded in a disappointing 5-game playoff loss to the Milwaukee Bucks, and Irving came under fire for his public criticism of his teammates and for appearing to cool on the idea of resigning with the organization. Statistics. The 6 feet 3 inches point guard is actually a forward pass-first type. Players normally occupy the position don't score as many points as Irving. During the 2016-17 NBA season, he averaged 25.2 points per game, while in his 6 seasons with the Cavaliers, he averaged 21.6 points per game. In a victory over the San Antonio Spurs in March of 2015, he scored a career-high 57 points, a personal best. During the 2018-19 NBA season, Cleveland Cavaliers point guard KYRIE IRVING averaged 6.9 assists per game, with a personal best of 18 assists against the Toronto Raptors in January. With 8 thefts in the Miami Heat game just a few days later, he set a new record for himself. Irving was a great free throw shooter with the Cavaliers, converting 87.3% of his tries. That included a career-high 41.5% in 2014-15, when he made 38.3% of his three-point shots. Uncle Drew. KYRIE IRVING was already an all-star in his 4th NBA season when Nike gave him his own trademark sneaker, the KYRIE 1, in December of that year. Over the years, Irving has used his footwear to represent himself. Whiplash was an inspiration for him, and he began writing the film's title on the side of his shoes in 2015 after seeing it in theaters. Since joining the Celtics, he has worn a variety of his unique sneakers, including one with a clover-covered toe cap and the mom shoes. His Pepsi Max commercials have also made Irving a household name. Commercials starring him as a grouchy old man who laments the good old days while dominating younger opponents debuted in 2012 as his first Uncle Drew campaign. Expanded YouTube videos of the commercials lasted for years. Shaquille O'Neal, Reggie Miller, and Chris Webber were all involved in the development of Uncle Drew as a feature film in 2017, according to The Hollywood Reporter. In June of this year, Uncle Drew debuted in theaters and had a decent opening weekend. Cleveland to Boston trade. LeBron James and KYRIE IRVING had just finished their 3rd straight NBA Finals together when Irving asked for a trade in the summer of 2017. Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Andy Zizic, and a first-round draft pick were part of the deal that sent Irving to the Celtics on August 22. In response to Cleveland's concerns about Thomas's health a week later, the Celtics gave up another lottery selection. Cleveland seemed like an ideal place for Irving, but his reasons for leaving finally became clear. The All-Star guard was seeking for a chance to lead his own club after giving up the spotlight to James, clearly one of the greatest players in NBA history. The 25-year-old said to ESPN in September that he wanted to be in a place where he could be taught every day and where the coaching staff and the franchise would demand that he perform to his full potential and see how far he could go. "I just wanted to be in an environment where I feel I could be taught every day," he said. Flat Earth Theory. On his teammates' road trip and podcast in February 2017, Irving caused a stir by arguing that the Earth is flat. He was adamant that the truth was plain to see, but that those in positions of authority were stifling the free flow of knowledge in order to mislead the public. In the wake of Irving's outbursts, many people questioned his sanity and called for him to be taken to task. One of the most well-known astronomers, Neil deGrasse Tyson, has even weighed in. "A free country means you should be able to think and speak whatever you want," he said to TMZ, and that is exactly what he meant. It's fine for him to believe that the Earth is flat, as long as he doesn't become the head of any space agencies and continues to play basketball. This exploitation method was intended to highlight how the media demonizes anyone who opposes authority, and Irving claimed he wanted people to question everything they were taught. Family. KYRIE's father, Dredrick Irving, was an accomplished basketball player before his son's arrival. Having been named to the Bronx All-City team while attending Adlai Stevenson High School, he went on to play college basketball at Boston University, where he finished his career as the school's all-time greatest scorer in 1988. In the absence of an NBA opportunity, he spent a few years with the Bulleen Boomers of Australia. He met Elizabeth Larson, a volleyball player and a classically trained pianist, at Boston University. As Elizabeth's hometown is near Seattle, Washington, they married and relocated there before moving to Australia for her basketball career. In 1996, Elizabeth died of sepsis at the age of 29. International competition and Australian roots. Kyrie Andrew Irving was born on March 23, 1992, in Melbourne, Australia, to basketball legend Dredrick Hawkins and his family. At the age of 2, the future NBA star moved to the United States with his father and older sister, Asia, but he retained his dual citizenship with both countries. Irving contemplated participating for the Australian national team in international competition many years later. He subsequently turned his back on the NBA and joined Team USA, where he won gold at the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup and a second gold at the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, as well as MVP accolades. Duke University and a high school star. Dredrick Irving finally made his way back to the United States, settling in West Orange, New Jersey, where he regularly took his young son to his pickup basketball matches. Before moving on to St. Patrick High School in Elizabeth, Kyrie Irving attended Montclair Kimberly Academy, a private school noted more for its academics than its athletics. St. Patrick won the state championship as a junior, and Irving was selected to the McDonald's All-American Team and Gatorade State High School Player of the Year as a senior, together with Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, a future NBA player. Irving was one of the few freshman point guards in the history of Duke University to start for famed coach Mike Krzyzewski. His 31-point performance against Michigan State in December 2010 set the tone for the rest of the season, but he suffered a foot injury just a few days later that ruled him out until the NCAA tournament. Cleveland Cavaliers selected Irving with the number 1 overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft despite his limited college stint at Duke, where he appeared in just 11 games. Cleveland Championship. After the Cavs lost LeBron James to the Miami Heat in 2010, Irving was one of the team's few shining lights during his first season with the organization. This year, he was crowned Rookie of the Year after he was chosen MVP of the Rising Stars Challenge at the NBA All-Star Weekend in 2012. Irving quickly established himself as one of the league's best point guards thanks to his brilliant dribbling and acrobatic shot-making. When he was selected to his first All-Star team in 2013, he won the game's MVP award the following year. It was that summer when James stated that he would return to Cleveland. Adding Kevin Love to the mix, the Cleveland Cavaliers' new Big Three was expected to compete for the NBA championship. In Game 1 of the 2015 NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors, Irving suffered a shattered kneecap, which ruled him out for the rest of the series and much of the next season. This time around, Irving was ready to shine. After scoring 41 points in Game 5 to keep Cleveland from being eliminated, he delivered the winning three-pointer in Game 7 to give the Cavaliers their first NBA championship. Golden State's high-scoring forward Kevin Durant dominated Irving and the Cavaliers in 2017, as they lost to them in 5 games for a third straight year to them in the finals. Personal. Irving became the latest NBA player to adopt a vegan diet before to the start of the 2017-18 season. In November of last year, Irving became a father to a daughter he called Azuri Elizabeth after his mother. Kehlani, the R&B artist he had just broken up with, soon acknowledged he was dating her, but they broke up just a few months later. A group called the Shared Grief Project showcases the tales of athletes who have experienced the loss of loved ones, particularly at a young age, but have gone on to achieve great success. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.